so happy to see you both.
It's great to see you.
Thank you. It seems that I've been told my 1-year-old has psoriasis, which, from what I understand, is an autoimmune disease that's chronic. And at this moment, there's no cure. Um, and I'm really upset. Um, right now, it covers almost his entire back with additional spots on his limbs. And part of me is like, well, if it stays like this forever, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. But the other night after I gave him a bath, it looked like to me it was spreading. So I'm just in a lot of fear, running worst case scenarios instead of focusing on there's some medications he can take, but I'm just really in a lot of fear. It's hard for me to be present. Like, I was so looking forward to coming here tonight. It took a lot to get here. And then I find myself having to bring myself back to being present because I'm off running these negative fantasies. And I try to go back and I hear Ron say it's foolish not to win in your own fantasies. I'm like, right. And then I just fall back in the negative fantasies. Being present, obviously not just here, but with my kids. It's just...
Well, let's start with you, because there's another principle of spiritual psychology that seems so apropos given what you're sharing and given all that it is bringing up inside of you. And that's how you relate to the issue is the issue, or how you relate to yourself while you go through the issue is the issue. So really the first thing here is, how are you going to be with yourself about this? And I hear that it has disturbed you greatly, that you have a lot of concern for your child, that there's a part of you that goes to the worst case scenario. And I hear that all of that does nothing except raise your level of anxiety and concern, of fear and worry. And see, in a sense, and what I'm going to say may sound strange, you know, your son has this for whatever reasons that he has it, and then there's what it's bringing up for you. And this is an opportunity to learn to make peace with this inside yourself. See, and part of what may help with that is, can you consider his physical condition through the lens of illness as spiritual opportunity?
Using great discipline, yes, I can.
And in a sense, this is a real test for you, because I know you've done a lot of work in your consciousness in order to gain dominion about where you hold your focus. Done a lot of good work. And so in a sense, you're being given another opportunity. Because, and I would submit to you, the more you can learn, the more you could come to a place of peace and acceptance while doing everything that you know to do, that you learn or hear of, in order to assist your son. By all means, all of that is very, very important. But the more you can hold in a place of peace, the more your presence will be a blessing to him.
Okay.
Let's look at this in terms of the way we've got this set up tonight. So my son has a physical condition called psoriasis, and this is a bad thing.
Just for today.
Yeah, this is a bad thing, and I'm really disturbed about it. Is this a bad thing, really? Not in spiritual reality. In spiritual reality, there are no bad things. There's just what is. What is your son has a rash. How you relate to the issue is the issue. How will you be with him while he deals with this, and whatever this is representing in terms of his spiritual growth, how will you be with him becomes the issue. This may seem like a strange analogy, and I don't mean to belittle what your son is going through. We have a situation going on now with our cat, whose name is, for those of you who don't know, is Sweet Stuff. Do you think I gave him that name or Mary? Sweet Stuff. So, Sweet Stuff is about 12 years old, and he's having kidney problems. Kidney problems, right? So his kidneys aren't functioning the way that they would like to be functioning, which could be a fatal thing in cats. So every morning, the first thing we do when we get up is we do what's known as hydrating him, which means we have a bag that hangs on the wall that has 1,000 cc's of liquid in it, and there's a long line, and there's a needle at the end of the line. And what it means is that, first of all, we have to catch him. So every morning we heat up the little bag, and we get him, and we have a dresser set up with a towel on it. Mary holds him down, and I have to
hold
lift
him
up.
down. I hold him.
And I have to lift up his fur and put that needle in there and then release it and make sure that it's positioned such a way that fluid flows down into him. And some days it's harder than other days. Some days it starts coming out and I got to take it out and do it again. And it can, some days it just goes in real easy and you never know what kind of day you're going to have when you start. Now I could say, this is just awful. We don't say that. What we do is we say, the way we're going to relate with this is that we have a time every morning that is assured that we are going to just love him as much as we possibly can while we're doing that hydration. So we hold our hands on him, we pour light in to the best of our ability for his highest good. Might he heal? He might. Might he not? He might. Tomorrow, God forbid, it may not work anymore. We don't know. But one thing we know is that we will make every day a day of loving with that cat while we're doing this. So we're having more loving with him now than we ever have before. So is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? It all depends upon our point of view. There is no good or bad in spirit. Shakespeare knew this. He had Hamlet say, "Nothing is either right nor wrong, but thinking makes it so." And this is why we say it's foolish not to win in your own fantasies. If you absolutely must envision something, envision positive things. And you could say, well, but my job as a mother, it's to envision negative things, and concerns, and it goes with the job description. Well, it doesn't have to. Doesn't have to.
Ron's referring to our cat. This was quite distressing to me when all of this came to our awareness. But I made up my mind that every day with him was going to be a day of loving, and that I would just use it as an opportunity to stay in the present, to not go into negative future fantasy. And that has made all the difference, Erica. Tremendous difference. To make it a day of loving. See, we don't know metaphorically, we don't know why this is happening with your younger son. But I would say to you that if you can come into the loving inside yourself where you can simply be present with him in the loving, because what is the skin a metaphor for, particularly if there's some disruption in the skin? Usually it's an extreme sensitivity of some kind. And so I would submit to you that the vibration of peace and loving that you carry, that you bring to your time with your son is very valuable and very important, not only for you,
Right.
but also for him.
Well, this is incredibly helpful. I definitely went through, what did I do? Blah,
Yeah.
blah, and I've decided that's a waste of time.
Good.
Good.
And I do tell my 1-year-old, I'm like, look, talk to Spirit and tell him or her that you get this lesson and the rest of it you can just let it go.
But you see, I think you may be missing something here. This may not be his lesson, it may be your lesson.
Well, then I thought of that too.
All right.
And I was like, I get it. We're done. Heal this now. But so bottom line,
See, that it still disturbs your peace means you're not done.
I will not let it disturb my peace so fast. So I guess I think from now on, a couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and give myself some compassion. And it's okay that I'm upset but at the same time, do everything I can, but I'm going to make a conscious choice to hold.
I forgive myself for establishing a rule that something different should be going on in my son's life. I forgive myself for judging myself as a bad mother. All of those kinds of things. To surrender, to let go of that kind of stuff and consciousness is what spiritual evolution is all about.
One thing that came up, maybe just so I can clear it, is I noticed that there's this storytelling going on that I'm doing. Like, I'm going to tell you the story, and this is really bad. Like, somehow I want, I know that you guys heard it, but it was like, and maybe now I'm over it, but it's like I wanted to be heard that this is bad or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but see, in this reality, that's a true statement. In this reality, it's nonsense. There's no bad. There's just what is.
So would it be okay then if would it be okay for me to be straightforward? Could we collectively take a moment
Sure.
to send healing love and light?
Sure, what's his
for
name?
the highest good of all concern?
Mm-hmm. What's his name?
Say his name, Erica.
James.
Okay, we just take a minute and send him all our love and light for his highest good. Not for the remission of his symptoms, because we don't know that that's for his highest good. For his highest good. So that which he can work with, he can use that energy for that purpose. And we don't pretend to know what it is.
Okay, thanks.
Is this helpful?
Thank you, Erica.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.